Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Happy Home School Online and also welcome to your first recorded session for English Class 8. Today we will be studying Act 5, Scene 1 and we'll be going over some important themes and characters. Let us go over the objectives for this session. A quick recap of Act 4, Scene 5 and 6. We will also discuss the situation at the farm after the siege. We will also explore the importance of Mike and Maureen's wedding. We will discuss Danny's relationship with Ben and Kim. We will also discuss the appearance of the rescue council at the end of the scene. We saw at the end of Act 4 that the battle was being fought between the soldiers and the Masada organization. And we saw that there was chaos everywhere, there was destruction, and everyone was upset and running around for their lives. This scene 1 of Act 5 begins with Mike and Maureen getting married. We see that Kim is miserable and upset and frustrated. And she doesn't find any joy in this news, which is very interesting, we could say. And these are the lines that she says to Danny. What bright side? There's no water. All the crops have failed. Rhodes and Walker took off with a month's worth of food provisions. And she also calls them fools. These are her exact words. Fooling themselves just like everyone else here. You see, Kim's interpretation of the situation over here is very unusual, even pessimistic. But we see that she is kind of right, even though we have seen her as the girl who is very impulsive with her thoughts and actions, and she doesn't really think a lot before doing something. But at this point in the play, we see that she is quite right. And she is right when we are reminded through her words that there is only limited supply of food and what will happen when that finishes. She is also right when she reminds us that there are better things to do, like worrying about food and their own safety, rather than sitting down to celebrate. We also see in this scene a reminder of Craig's death. We have constantly seen death throughout this play, in one form or another. It is a recurring theme in this play. And also at this point, Danny reminds us of Craig's death. Even though it is not shown in the play explicitly in an actual scene, but in these lines, he discusses that with us. He says, Craig had a slow dose of radiation sickness. Even with medicine, there was nothing the doctor could do. The worst thing is, it could happen to any one of us. The saddening part of these lines and this incident is that Craig was just a kid and that he was too young to have died, but because he had been infected by radiation sickness, and there was nothing even the doctors could have done. And this is really the sad part. It is like death has constantly surrounded these people. It has become a part of their daily lives. We know all along that death is inevitable, but for these people, it has become the new normal, something they have adjusted to, constantly losing their loved ones, their families, and their friends. And it is also a reminder that no matter what age and what gender or what country you belong to, when there is a war, nothing stays unbroken, nothing is left not affected by it, not destroyed by it. As the scene comes to a close, a very unusual thing happens. We see a rescue helicopter in the sky, and instantly all the characters gathering around on the stage to wave at it, as if in a movie when someone is rescued off an island. And this is what the rescue helicopter says. We represent the European Search and Rescue Council. We have plotted your location and shall return tomorrow. The phrase plotted your location tells us that a lot of calculation and planning has gone into this mission of finding these people. But we know throughout the play that people cannot be trusted for what they are saying. People like Walker are deceptive and selfish, and people like Rhodes, who are cold blooded murderers. So at this point, when the rescue team comes, we are forced to think about it twice and wonder if this is actually the truth that they are saying. But at this point, we don't have all the answers, but we will. As the people on the stage hear this news of a rescue, they are delighted. And this is how they are described to us. The shadow chorus enters. Some play instruments, others have huge plates of food. A wild party ensues with singing, dancing, and drinking. The lights slowly fade, and we see that as Act 5, Scene 1 comes to a close, it is very different from the previous scene that we have read. The mood of the play lightens, everyone is happy and rejoicing, and everyone is also very, very excited as to what will happen next. We also see that everyone is patiently anticipating as to what the future will hold. We also see a sense of suspense. As audience, we are forced to think whether everything will turn out good or not. But at this particular point in the play, we feel happy for these people. The scene leaves us with a lot of questions, and we are forced to ask ourselves if these people from Skipley will finally be rescued. Will everything work out? Will the killing and bloodshed finally stop? And will these people finally find some peace in their motherland? We do not have answers to all these questions at this point in the play, but we will find these answers as we read on. For the next session, I hope that you will read the scene thoroughly and note down points to discuss in the next session. Before we end this session today, I would like to remind you about the assignment uploaded on Google Classroom after this class. Also, the deadline for the assignment is 10 p.m. today. I hope that you are well and that your families are safe and sound. Take care and Allah Hafiz.